A blessed Sunday to us. This particular episode from today's gospel reading is actually considered or classified as a miracle, considered miracle against nature, in the sense that nature has its own force and power. When it rains, it rains. As we have in the idiomatic expression, it's raining cats and dogs. No? And people are going out in the open, those who love pets. But those who hate pets, they don't care about it. And they're afraid when it's raining cats and dogs. Ako, I'll be going outside. I'll be catching cats and dogs because I love them. Anyway, it's just an idiom. But all the storms that come, in as much as nature is concerned, is just so natural. Actually, no one can actually make a stop to it. No? Nobody actually, I don't know if you have heard a person who actually said, "Hey, hunong diha." Although we have heard stories about certain like priests also, no? But when nature shows its force, it's really part of nature. But here we come into this episode of the gospel reading where Jesus was telling the sea and the storm, quiet, no? Quiet, no? And I think even you can even creatively say, shh, no? It's like speaking to the forces of nature. And then they also followed, no? And this is a great miracle indeed. But then it is also a very important perspective where we can put ourselves into this very context of the very episode. Because the quiet, the expression that Jesus used in order to still the storm and the sea was not just only addressed to the forces of nature. In fact, in the Old Testament or in the scriptures, whenever we talk about the sea and the deep, no, and the depths of the sea, it's always considered to be the abode of the evil one. And that's the reason why this is one particular miracle that describes Jesus as over the powers of evil. Because the sea is considered to be the abode. No, monay puluyanan sa mga daotan. No, that's what the scriptures believe. And here comes Jesus fulfilling what the Psalms and the prophets were talking about in the Old Testament. No, our responsorial psalm today actually sheds light on the Lord stilling or calming the seas and the storms. And this is a very important perspective here because even the forces of nature obey the Lord. Now, it was not only, as I said, addressed to the storm, to the sea, to the very disturbed sea, but it was also addressed to the disciples. No? Sila go'y unang na wala na himutang, no? Wala lang sila nakurat, nangahadlok sila, nang aduna sila kataslak. Oh? Lalom na kayo nga sinibuan, no? Mahadlok na sad mo mangutana kung sa may meaning ana. Ayaw na lang pangutana kay mahadlok mo. Okay? They were so greatly terrified. That's why when Jesus was addressing the storm and the sea, he was also indirectly addressing the disciples who were with him to be quiet, to be still. But at the same time, it also goes beyond that particular episode, that particular scene, because these words, quiet, be still, are also addressed to us. Not that we are on a boat. Yes, we are on a journey. But even in our daily lives, as we go through the pains and the joys of life, we always have terrible experiences. And it is also a way of reminding us that Jesus is just there. You know? Some people would even quote that famous song, "Natutulog ba ang Diyos?" No? Because the episode today also speaks about Jesus, asleep in the cushion. And it's only the Gospel of Mark that describes the inn natulog si Jesus, on a cushion. Matthew and Luke, or Matthew, the parallel of this Gospel, wala. Basta Jesus was, when you are asleep on a cushion, on sa may pasabot ana, nahinanok. No? But is God really asleep? And this is a very beautiful thing because when they were waking Jesus up. He was just there, no? And he said, quiet, but not only to the storm, as I said, but only to them, and also to us now. Because we have so many experiences that need calming. We need to be focused, not only in the projects of our lives, not only on the important things that we have to do because of our profession, but most of all, in that particular prayer time that we have for ourselves. Na usahay di gyud ta makafocus. Daghan kayong mga una-una nga mosulod. And I think these beautiful words of Jesus should become a mantra to us. That is always part of the experience and the process of praying. Before we go into the act of prayer, we start calming down ourselves. No? Ato ang ikondisyon ang atong kaugalingon. And even in the conditioning of the silencing of ourselves, we still can feel the fear, the terrible things, even the uneasiness. And these are great challenges in our lives. And so this is one thing. Very, very simple, not even said precisely in the context, but it always tells a truth, because our focus in our lives should always start with our experience of prayer. Isn't it true that whenever you have projects or problems, mingon din ta nga iampo ko ha? You know, sometimes I'm tempted to say, yeah, iampo di ka, pero pag ampo pod. No? Kita mag-ampuan na ita. But then the calmness that we have to experience should be the starting point of it. Because it is through this calm and peace that the Lord will tell us what to do. If not, do it for ourselves. It's so unfair for God to do these things in us and we are not attentive to what He is doing. So be calm. Be silent. Be quiet. And be still. Finally, a corny thing came to my mind when talking about being still. Because still, no, is actually another word for always. No? You are still. No? Di ba naikanta na si Whitney Houston, you're still my man? Or you're still my man? No? We are still His children. We are always and forever His children. And from that stillness of the heart, He remains there forever and ever. Amen.